Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan and today we're going to be talking about my September TBR. I apologize for the fact that it's a few days late, but you know what? We're doing it. And speaking of my September TBR, it is going to be a series focused month. And that is also partly because I'm participating in a readathon that has started already and it's been happening throughout the whole month. Is when it ends September 30th. And like I said, it's focusing on series, helping you finish the series and such. And I'm gonna tell you the prompts real quick. So it's let's get it started, double it up, blast from the past, talk of the town, that's a wrap, out of the box, you own it, now start it, now you can watch it, and three's a crowd. In a moment, I'm going to share with you the books that I am reading for this readathon. And I'm going to also explain more about the readathon. And if you want to participate, by all means, go ahead. I'm going to link the video to the original announcement, which Krista from Books and Jams has, because she's hosting it along with Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, I think, is her channel. I'm going to at least I'm going to at least link Krista's video down in the description. Before we do begin, you guys, I just want to apologize for my sporadic uploading. The last time I uploaded a video was probably 3 to 4 weeks ago. So like sometime in July, maybe? No, August. I'm sorry, August. July was a month ago or so. 2 months ago. Anyway, yeah, so I just want to apologize for that because I've been, kind of crazy busy. Also, my health is kind of taking a turn, so I've been focusing on that. And plus, I was also on vacation last week, which was a blessing because yeah, I needed a break from work and just crazy life stuff in general. Anyway, like I said, I am going to give you guys the readathon info and also share with you my prompts. I have my handy dandy notebook here which has the prompts, along with the books that I'm going to read for these prompts, because sometimes I forget. So having it written down is helpful. So for let's get it started, it's plain and simple. It's just basically saying to start a brand new series that you have not read before. And I'm choosing for this book number 1 in the First Law trilogy called The Blade Itself. And I don't know too much about this. I just know that it's popular and I've been wanting to read this series for a while. It's an adult fantasy. And yeah, I've wanted to read Joe Abercrombie for quite some time. So yeah, looking forward to it. Okay, so the next one is Double It Up. And this one is very, you don't have to follow, there's no like certain rules. It mainly is just saying double it up, meaning you can read 2 books from the same series, or you can read 2 books from 2 separate series, or you can read 2 books from separate series by the same author, but obviously, like I said, different series. It's just basically saying read 2 books, and but within the series, or within 2 different series, whatever have you. And for that, I chose both Carve the Mark and The Fate Divides by I almost said Cassandra Clare, by Veronica Roth. This series I originally started reading back in 2017 when I was in Europe, but or was it 2018? It was 2018, but I never finished it. I read Carve the Mark while I was on vacay in Europe, but I never read The Fate Divides. I started it, but then I never finished it. And if you don't know who Veronica Roth is, she wrote the Divergent trilogy, which we're never going to speak of again. I unhauled that series because I did not like the way the 3rd book was going. I finished it, but I'm never going to read that book series again. I read the 1st book, but way before the hype happened. I read the 1st book. I loved it. And then the 2nd book is when the hype started happening, I believe. Yeah. And then, yeah, like I said, I loved the 1st book. I actually really enjoyed book 2. And then the 3rd book, Allegiant, is, in my opinion, the worst book. And like I said, I did not enjoy that book a lot. Or I did not enjoy that book much. So I unhauled it. But when I read this series, at least the 1st book, I really enjoyed the 1st book. Although I was confused. I will say that much. All I remember about it is there's these 2 races of people, the Thuve and the Shotet. I don't even know if Thuve is how you say it. But the Thuve and the Shotet are 2 different types of people living on the same planet. The Thuve are peacekeeping people, and the Shotet is more of a royal group of people, and they are all full of warriors. And our 2 main characters, Akos and Syrah, have abilities because of this thing called the current. And whatever the current gives you for a power is your power. And I'm not going to go into it too much, just that I liked it a lot. But like I said, I was super confused. And yeah, this is the Carve the Mark duology. I hope that I really do enjoy this duology, because if not, I'm gonna quit reading books by Veronica Roth. Anyway, this is Carve the Mark and The Fate Divides, and the Carve the Mark duology. The 3rd prompt is Blast from the Past, and you can take this in any direction you want. So as long as you're reading within a series, though. So Blast from the Past can mean you can read a book that is set like many years ago in the past. You can read a book series that was written in the past, so like Lord of the Rings, Dune, like whatever have you. Or the past could even be like just 5 years ago, whatever. Or you can read a book that you read when you were a child. So that's definitely a blast from the past. And that's the way I chose to go. I'm reading for this prompt, Charlie Bone and the Invisible Boy. This is the 3rd book in the Children of the Red King series, which is written by Jenny Nemo. I remember when I was a kid, I started reading this series. I was like in 3rd grade. And the first 3 or 4 books were out. I read the first 2 from that I'm sure of. I'm pretty sure I read the first 2. and I enjoyed it, but I don't know why I didn't pick it back up. And obviously, the series is completed now. There's 8 books, and it's a middle grade fantasy about a boy named Charlie Bone who finds out that he is endowed with magical abilities. And because he is gifted, he ends up having to go to this academy where there are other gifted children just like him. But while he's there, a lot of creepy stuff and weird stuff starts happening, and he takes it upon himself to figure it out and obviously stop it from happening. And I'm not going to give you any more details. You should definitely read it, though. I enjoyed the first book, even though the first book was kind of missing some stuff, in my opinion. And the second book was even better, though. So I can't wait to read this. Prompt number 4, Talk of the Town. And this is simply read a book that's hyped. Or, in your opinion, that's hyped. It could be like books from, I don't know, Sarah J. Maas. Anything she's written is hyped. So like read a book in a series that is hyped, or read a book in a series by an author that's overhyped. And like I just used Sarah J. Maas as an example, I believe. She's an overhyped author, and like her books are overhyped. And I'm not kidding you about that. Like, you can find her books everywhere. And she's a great author, but yeah, like I said, she's way overhyped. And for that, I chose Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is a sci-fi, and it's like basically surrounded like about a video game. I think our main character comes into some money or something because he won something. The fortune of the guy who created the game, and it goes from there. And I hope to finish this because I want to read book 2, which is literally right over here. Okay, prompt number 5. That's a wrap. And when you basically just have to read a final book in a series. And that's pretty simple and straightforward, and I love that. For this one, I kind of feel like I'm cheating, but I'm going to do it anyway because I decided to reread this series, and it's the final book. It's the only book actually on my shelf where I'm actually at the final book. And that's very sad, I know. Okay. That is Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, who is my favorite young adult fantasy author. And this is actually my favorite young adult fantasy series of all time. It is about a girl named Tessa Gray who is tricked into coming to meet her brother Nate in London. And like I said, she's tricked because it ends up being a trap. And the Shadow Hunters swoop in eventually and save her. And then they have to basically stop this evil person from doing whatever they're doing. I can't say anymore because I don't want to spoil it. This is part of the Infernal Devices trilogy. It's fantastic. This is my 3rd read-through of the series. After I read this, I'm going to read the spin-off series, which is The Last Hours, which is set several years into the future. It focuses on the kids of the characters in this book. All right. For the next one, I'm going to be doing the prompt Out of the Box. And out of the box can be many different things. It could be basically read a book that you've never read from before, or like mainly read a book from a genre, read a book from a series, read a read a book from a genre that you've never read from before. It just has to be a series, obviously. So like a series within the genre you never read from before. Or whatever, however. You can take it in many different directions. As long as you're reading a series, you are okay. And for that, I chose Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. Now, I read the first book back in last month, actually, in August. And I really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite, but I really did enjoy the book. The way the book was described to me was Hunger Games in space. And it definitely was that. And more. But I really enjoyed it. And Pierce Brown is a good writer. So this is book number 2. I can't say anything about it because I don't want to spoil the first one. And also, I haven't read the second one yet. So, yeah. This is a sci-fi, by the way. And I don't usually read a lot of sci-fi. I pick it up every now and then. But sci-fi is not my, like, go-to drama. Or, sci-fi is not my go-to genre. Because, I don't know, every time I read a sci-fi, generally when I read a sci-fi, I just don't like the direction that it goes most of the time, and so I'm left disappointed a bit. Anyway, this is Golden Sun, book 2 in the Red Rising series. Now the next prompt is, you own it, now start it. For that, I chose Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This is the first book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. No, the Folk of the Air trilogy. Why did I say Cruel Prince trilogy? The Folk of the Air trilogy by Holly Black. This is my first Holly Black book that I'm ever going to read. I've bought the whole trilogy. And if I liked it, I'm going to read Book of the Night. Or is it just called Book of Night? I think it's just called Book of Night, which is about shadow magic, which is really appealing. So, yeah, I want to read that, but this series I'm excited to read because it's about the fair folk. And I love reading books about the fair folk, which are fairies. Because fairies are dark and sinister creatures who like to trick people, and this one is depicting that, and I really like that. Anyway, this is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've met her, by the way. She's a lovely person. I just never really considered reading her books until now, so here I go. Okay, so we have 2 more prompts. There's a total of 9, and I will link the bingo board as well as Krista's video down in the description. The next prompt is, now you can watch it. And it's simple. Read a book in a series that has an adaptation. There are tons of movies and TV shows that are based off of books. I mean, I can name so many, it's not even funny. And the book for this prompt is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon? Or Gabaldon. Outlander is a long-running series. I think it's on its 6th or 7th season. And there's like 10 books now. I'm really excited to read this series. I've been wanting to read it for years, and I'm so sad that I didn't get to meet the author. The last time Cassandra Clare had a book tour, at least the last time that I can remember, I could have gone, but well, actually no, I couldn't have, because I ended up having a stupid obligation for school that night. But one of my friends went, and she recorded the whole thing, and it was awesome to watch. And Cassandra Clare invited Diana Gabaldon to be on that book tour with her. And yeah, this is a time-traveling novel with elements of fantasy and historical fiction. So that's right up my alley. I am super excited to read these finally. And the last one is Three's a Crowd. And for this one, you can either read 3 books in a series, or you can read the final book in a trilogy. And for that, I chose City of Bastards, which is book 2 in the Royal Bastards trilogy. This is about a group of children who are bastards, basically, and they happen to see their parents commit a heinous act, and their parents turn and see them, and because their parents acknowledge them being there, the children have to go on the run, because if the children tell the truth of what the parents did, it could end badly for the kingdoms that they're all mainly from the same kingdom, but it can end badly for the parents who were of royal standing. And so, yeah, they have to turn on their children. And so, yeah, it's just basically a huge chase. And it's full of magic and a huge journey that happens and fun characters. I love the first book. And I can't wait to finally read this. Oh my god. And then if I finish that, I'm going to read War of the Bastards, which is the final book in the trilogy. And I cannot wait to read these. They're high on my list. And other books that I want to read this month that are not part of the readathon. This Vicious Grace. This is about a girl who is called a Finestra. She was chosen by the gods. And because she was chosen by the gods, she has a duty. And her mission is basically to find a mate. And then once she chooses her mate, her mate and her have to destroy this evil that is lurking in their midst. But the only issue for her is her ability is lethal. Her touch is lethal. So she's lost several possible mates because her touch killed them. And she's hoping the next one survives so that they can obviously fulfill the duties of their post and save their people. So, yeah. I started this back in August. Was it August or was it... Yeah, it was August. And I ended up picking up another book, and then I finished that same book today, or actually yesterday. So I hope to pick this book back up and then finish it this time. And other books high on my list are Recursion and Upgrade, both books by Blake Crouch, who is a well-known author. He writes sci-fi thriller. So the genres sci-fi and thriller coming together. He is fantastic. I've only read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, but I've heard so many good things about Recursion. I haven't seen anything on Upgrade yet because Upgrade just came out, like in July. And plus I'm scared to read reviews of Upgrade. But I'm sure I'll like it. Other books that I want to read, and I have the audiobook for this one, so this one should be easier. Speaking of Sarah J. Maas, this is the 4th book in the A Court of Thorns and Roses series called A Court of Silver Flames. And this book focuses on Nesta, who is the sister of the previous main character, Feyre. And this focuses on fairies and all that such. So it's a good time. And the series has been great so far. I DNF'd this. It was like a soft DNF because I didn't want to quit reading this. I got 340 pages in. I gave up at the time because there was not enough plot. I just hope to power through it this time. And I've heard that it's a great ending, so I can't wait to pick this back up and then finally finish it. And then hopefully the next book is announced and it's going to come out next year. Probably not though, because I think she's more interested in finishing the Crescent City trilogy first, which I don't blame her. And then finally we have Crush, which is the 2nd book in the Crave series by Tracy Wolff. It's about a girl named Grace who attends this boarding school in Alaska because her parents died. And her uncle is running the school. Her uncle and her cousin are her only living relatives that I know of. And when she's at this boarding school, a lot of weird and creepy stuff starts to happen around her. And that's all I'm going to share about that. I will say it's similar to Twilight, but better. I read the first book back in May, enjoyed it so much that I decided to pick up the series and continuation. And the 6th and the first 4 books are out. The 5th book is supposed to come out this year. And then the 6th and final book is supposed to come out in 2023. Anyway, you guys, that was my TBR. Let me know what you guys are reading for this month. If you're reading any of these books, let me know. And tell me how they are so that I can be excited or nervous, whatever have you. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.